Hello friends, and welcome back to the last video of our 30-day island series. This is pretty much day 31, but it is the final island tour. I definitely wanted to post a tour video because we worked very hard on this island. So here it is. We're going to be touring the completed island that we completed in 30 IRL days using only one color, and that color was red. That was decided by fate through a wheel, so shout out to the wheel for this island. We can take a quick look at the map before we start our tour. The dream address is also down at the bottom of the screen for you, so if you want to visit along with this tour, go ahead and do that now. But this is the map of Crimson. As you can see, we have a all red lineup. We also have upgraded all of the buildings, so we have our campsite, a full museum, Able Sisters, the fully grown, is that how you say that? The big Nook's Cranny, and then the big resident services as well. But for residents, we have myself, we have Benedict, Apple, Poppy, Octavian, Cherry, Rudy, Rio, Sherry, Lucha, and Rasher. And we found all of these villagers through villager hunts, except for Cherry. Cherry actually visited in the campsite, and we had to do all of those silly little games to get her to agree to move to the island, but everyone else was found through a villager hunt, and we just got lucky with Cherry. And as you can see on the map, I did use all of the buildings on the mainland, so nothing was stuck on the beaches, and you can definitely tell that we used a lot of in-game pathing. Our main path around the island is the light dirt, so you can see it on the map, which I really like. But we can go ahead and get started. We're at the entrance, and this is the first area that we built, and I really love this area. We have a little cul-de-sac of villagers in the entrance, and we have a beautiful little bridge back there. We also have CJ visiting the island, so welcome in CJ. And I didn't really go over like the rules for the challenge, but the main one of this challenge was that everything on the island has to be red. So our flowers, bushes, decorations, all of that all have red on them somewhere. The only exception to that is the trees, and then I also used hedges on the island and weeds. So those are the only items, which aren't technically items, they're trees, fences, and weeds. So not really like a Nook item, but those are the only things that don't have red on them on the island. But this is our entrance, and we have this cute little overlook over here. Ignore the tree branches. We have a little bridge right here, and you can see back there we have Sherry and Benedict's house. All of the houses were customized interior and exterior. I won't be showing the interiors in this video, but I do have a whole video, well, 2 whole videos where I do them, so if you're interested, you can check that out as well. But their exteriors were also redone to match the island theme. But we just have 4 little villagers over here. Over here we have Poppy's house, and she just has a small little yard. And then back here we have Benedict's house, and he lives next to the playground. So we have a little red playground over here and just a bunch of cute decor. And then he is part of the tomato farm, which is really cute. And so is Sherry. Sherry also has a little picnic next to her house. And then down here, our last villager in this area is Apple, who is a cutie. She's standing right there working out. And then we have Rudy over here as well. And then down in front of Apple's house and Poppy's house, you can get down to the beach, but I think I'm going to tour the beaches last, so we'll continue on the hunt. This is resident services. We have a cute little snack area over here, and we have a tomato juice, Bloody Mary truck, whatever you want to call it. In the dream address, I also have a bunch of presents here for you, so if you want to get into a cute outfit, you can open those presents. And then if we go into resident services, we have a very happy Rasher dancing. We have this small little area over here, which was really handy for me. I could get dressed, redo my hair, throw stuff away, get stuff out of my storage, do a DIY. It was very helpful. So I recommend making like a little, I don't know what you would call this, but like a little helping area of your island. I really enjoyed it. We also have a parking lot back here for Tom Nook and Isabel, so they can park and get to their work easily. And that's pretty much it for the actual resident services. I also had like somewhat of a competition for the island flag, and rat.lord won the competition. So we're using their little flag, which is super cute. It's just like a little red mushroom Thank you so much for everyone who did participate in that. I really appreciate it. And then again, you can get down to the beach in front of here, but I'm going to wait until the end for the beaches. So we can continue on this way. Over here, we have a little pig farm, pig pen. So just a bunch of cute little pigs here. And I did make a lot of the custom designs. So you see this wood plank. I did make these, and I think you can get to my code somewhere, but a lot of these red codes I did make myself. So I'll have that in the description if you're interested in that, but I also uploaded them. So if you visit the dream address, the little portal will be in resident services. So if you need to get to them that way, you can do that as well. And then if we continue up this way, we do have the campsite. And unfortunately, I did forget to load a villager into the campsite for the dream address, but I still think this area is pretty cute without it. We obviously have the campsite, we have little futons to lay on, we have the beds over here. You'll also see a couple like music player items like stereos and radios and all of that around the island, and they're all playing KK Cruisin' because it was a red record, so that's the one I decided. And then again, you can get to the beach over here, but we're gonna wait on that. And then we'll head back this direction. And this is one of my favorite areas on the island. This is a fire station, and I just love how this build turned out. I think it's so fun, and I just love making fake buildings in interesting ways. So we have a fire rescue area with the trucks in here, and a Mario pole, which shout out to my mod Brenda. She's obsessed with this item, so I put this specifically here for her, so it's on my island. And then there is a way to get back to the peninsula over here, but we'll do that when we do the beaches. And then for this small filler area, I went with a basketball court. Unfortunately, the basketball is not red, so I did use beach balls for the basketball court, so I don't know how to feel about that, but that's what we did. We have a small little flower farm over here with a little sign that says please water, and then cherries over here looking mighty cute. Oh my gosh, she's wearing that orange shirt. Of course she is. And then this is what I like to call our townhouses. This is Cherry and Rio's house, and they just have like a cute little parking lot down here. They both have a small little picnic area, so that's Cherry's side, and then over here is Rio, and she has like a little reading nook. In front of this area, there is a little place for yoga over here, and we also have an outdoor gym section over here, so if you want to do a little workout. But you can come up this area to get to the houses, and this is Rio's house. This is her customization, and this is Cherry's house over here. Also, you will see all of the villagers have villager photos outside of their house. I did not receive these like through the villagers, so I didn't really earn them the correct way, but I thought they were cute. And then if we come back here, we have a really long land bridge. And if we come to the right first, this is our museum build, which I am actually obsessed with. It is a castle, and you can kind of see the museum back there. You can see like the doorway. And then if you look down, there are a bunch of flowers, and it's like a little poppy field. We also have some like bug models on mushrooms and everything. But this was a really fun area to build, and we used so many flowers. And I just love this area. And if you continue this way, it does just lead over to a bench, so you can sit over here. You can almost see the peninsula over here, but not really. And then if we continue on this way, we do have another overlook. And you can see right here, we have a small little parking lot down there. But the big area is this like baseball field. Oh my gosh, look at Octavian over there. That's perfect. We have this like overlook of a baseball field. And I did leave you a little gift right here, so if you want to use that, you can go ahead and carry it around the island. But I really love this overlook, and I've never made a baseball field before, and I don't really know a whole lot about baseball, so it was my limited knowledge on the subject for this build. And then again, if you continue this way, there is just like a little bench, but you can also go down the ramp, so you can actually get over to the baseball field and you can walk around. It's obviously not like life-size, like you wouldn't have like bushes next to where you run around the bases, but it's Animal Crossing, not real life, okay? And you can actually get over to the parking lot as well, but that doesn't really lead to anything. And there's just a bunch of fun decorations over here. And then next to the baseball field, I had to put our jock villager. So here is Rudy's house. And he also has a small little flower farm. And his yard actually leads to the secret beach, which we also decorated. We have a cute little gyroid guy in a boat. Very simple decor, but I think it's cute. I also gave him a Cosmo wreath on his door because he has the Cosmo farm, so I felt like it was really fitting. And then next door, he also has a flower shop that he runs. So this is a really cute little fake building that I made, and I'm kind of obsessed with this building. I've never made a building like this before, but I think it's super cute, and I don't know, I just really love it. I tore the whole thing down trying to get to 5 stars and it didn't work. So we do have a 4-star island, unfortunately, because of a traffic hazard, but whatever. And then over here is our fishing area. So first we have Lucha's house, who was actually our last resident to be added to the island. And he has a little boat repair shop over here. And then he has a little dock that you can't really get onto, but it's kind of just for looks. And then they have like a repair and fish selling area back here, but I do really love this view right here in between the houses with the lighthouse and the carp banner. I think it's so cute, and they kind of have like coordinating houses. They have like the same style, but their doors and like wreath item are inversed, so one is red and black and the other one is black and red, which I thought was really cute. And then this is Octavian's house over here. He also has a little dock that you can't really get to, but he does the boat painting, so his area is over here. And then this leads over to a beach, which we're not going to go to, but this is the area over here. And then you can get to the area in front of this from this direction, but for the tour, I don't want to spoil the beaches yet. So we're going to go back this direction. So you can go all the way up to the land bridge. And if you go back to where Rio and Cherry's house are, we can go downstairs and that will lead over to the next build. So you just have to go this way. It doesn't connect, which I think is fine. But this build over here in front of like the baseball field is a gas station, which again was a really fun build to make. And it is really hard to make like builds like this only using red items. So I don't know, I think it turned out really good for only using red. But we have the little gas tanks over here. We have a little area to fill up your car. There is also a little bathroom situation over here, so if you need to go potty, you can. And then over in this area, I did a car repair shop as well. So we just have this little like workshop-ish area over here. And again, playing on the radio is KK Cruisin', of course. And then in front of this area, we just have like a little mini cafe with some bistro tables, just a small filler area. And then we get to my house. So my house was turned into an orchard, and we have a little station over here for you to like sign up to pick your own apples. And then on this side, we have a little apple cafe, so you can get your goodies over here and then come to a table and eat your yummy fruit desserts that are also all red, I will say. And then back here is the apple orchard, and it's not really like a functional orchard, it's kind of just for decoration. And then we have my house right here. Ignore all of the weeds, I didn't feel like plucking them. But this is my house, and we can actually take a quick tour of my house because I did do my interior. For all of the interiors on the island, I did allow myself to use other colors. So this front room is like brown and red, and I got a lot of inspiration from Pinterest. So I will have my Pinterest linked in the description as well if you want to check out the builds that I used. But that is a living room. And then the room to the left is a kitchen, which is black and red. And we just have like a little diner kind of set up over here, a little dining table situation, and then maybe just a small little spot to work on some documents, important, me editing my videos in the kitchen, I guess. But this is the red and black room, which I really like how it turned out. I did decorate all of the rooms so they are all accessible. You can squeeze through here to get to the back room, which is going to be the bathroom. Like I said, this is the bathroom. Someone did point out that there's no toilet in here, which I did not think about, but yes, this is the bathroom, which I guess is just the washroom because you can wash yourself and wash your hands, get dressed, put some makeup on, I don't know. But I really love how this area turned out. It is pink and red, which I think is super romantic. And again, a lot of inspo from Pinterest, so check that out if you want to see where I got that idea from. And then if we go around this way, again, you can wiggle through this area, and this leads over to the laundry room. Here we go, the laundry room. White and red is the theme of this one. It's a little open in here, but I think that's perfectly fine. You can have a lot of room to do your laundry. I really like how this room turned out. It's very simple, but I love the idea of a laundry room, so that's why I went ahead and did that. And then let's head upstairs, which is going to be my bedroom. We have my bed in the center. We have a little radio over here. We have like my dressing up area with some clothes on the wall, which I thought were really cute. And then over here we have like my makeup vanity to get my makeup on, because I do love putting on makeup. And we have a little reading nook over here, just to kind of fill that area. I'm not like a huge reader, but I liked the idea of it. And then the last room is the basement. And the basement was turned into like an arcade or game room. So we have a lot of arcade systems over here. We have like a little juice bar back here, some crane games and capsule toys. We have pinball and pool and little snacks over here. So a bunch of fun stuff in this little room. I love it. And that's gonna be it for the house. I'm definitely not an interior decorator, but I am excited that I did do my house. It feels rewarding to have completely finished the island. And then across from the orchard, we do have a small little dog park, and this was just a cute little filler area that I really love. And again, it's just like all red stuff, which I really love. And then moving on over here, we have a somewhat failed rock garden. I managed to get all of my rocks except for one of them in here. So we have a placeholder for my last rock that is gone but not forgotten. I have no idea what happened to that one. And then over here we have Rasher's house, and Rasher is kind of in charge of two areas. So he has the gyroid farm over here. So all of these gyroids were called red on Nookopedia. Even if they look a little terracotta, Nookopedia said they're red, so take it up with them if you disagree. But you can come over here and water them as well if you want to help out Rasher. And then you can get a good view of the lake from over here with another little dock. And you can whip out your camera and get a cool view of that back area with the two houses. I really love this area. I didn't do a whole lot of terraforming on this island, but the terraforming I did do, I think turned out really good. And like I said, this is Rasher's area, so his house is over here. He has a little wishing well and just like a cute little sitting spot over here, but he's also in charge of the chicken coop. So he has a small little chicken coop area over here with the little rooster zodiac figurines. I think they're super cute. And then the beehives are supposed to look like a chicken coop. I don't know. And then they can drink the water over here. It's just a small little filler area that I really like. And then coming down here is kind of like the shopping district. So we have Nook's Cranny and Able Sisters. And Nook's Cranny was turned into kind of like an outdoor tractor supply-ish store. So we have a bunch of stuff over here for you to buy. And then we have like an unloading zone with a truck back here. This also leads over to the playground near the front of the island, so you can get through here as well. And then on the other side of Nook's Cranny, there's just a small little sitting area with some snack machines and stuff. Just a small little filler area next to that. And then we have Able Sisters over here, which is a 2-for-1. We have a little laundry area down here where you can wash your clothes. And then upstairs, you actually get to Able Sisters. And I actually used these changing rooms a lot during the challenge to get changed every day. And then Abel's is also selling the label stuff, so you can get your label clothes here as well. And it was kind of nice just to have this area on top of a cliff to add a little bit more height to the island as well. And then in front of this area, we have like a boot. What did the person call it? A boot sale? So like a trunk sale. Oh my gosh. I just noticed I have fossils right here. No, those are probably in the dream address, but it's too late now. But in the back of everyone's trunk, they're selling a bunch of goodies. So if you come over here, there's a couple more as well. And you can just buy a bunch of stuff from people's trunks. It's like a garage sale, but for people. And then one more area before we go to the beaches is just this little filler area, and it is a little bird sanctuary with some cardinals, which I think is super cute. And they just have little bird houses back here, and it was just another like small filler area that wasn't like trees and stuff, so I think that is cute. And then this does lead over to Poppy's house in the entrance, And I guess we can get to the beaches now. So the beach in front of Poppy's house is a volleyball court area. So you have beach volleyball over here. Again, KK cruising. You can get some snacks and water. And then again, we're playing with the red beach ball because that is a red ball. And then I guess we can go this direction around the island. So in front of the boot sale, whatever you want to call it, garage sale kind of thing, we have two kinds of beaches. So the first one is a birthday beach, which I thought was really cute, and we had a lot of birthdays while doing this challenge. A lot of my villagers had birthdays in September and October, and that's mainly when I was playing this, so we had a lot of birthdays, so I felt like we could do a little birthday celebration beach to remember those villagers and maybe for you to come celebrate your birthday as well. And then over here we just have a small little like relaxing area with some beach parasols and stuff. And then I did decorate the dock as well with just like a small little fishing area. I did have the tiny dock, so there wasn't too much room for decoration. Back here we have a kind of like a surf shop, which is really cute. And then some filler. Next to Able Sisters, we have a little yoga area with, again, KK cruising. And then if you continue on back here, we have a little area for you to rinse off all the sand and reapply your sunscreen, which is very important. Take care of your skin. And then I did do a little bit of rock decoration. So we have some place to suntan and then a cute little kids tent. And then by the boat area with the lake in the boat repair shop, I just added a couple more boats back here. And then we have my favorite place on the entire island, an area to remember the villagers we kicked off the island, because I had initially counted these villagers as red and a lot of you disagreed. So Olivia I originally got because I thought she was red, but she wasn't red enough, so I did get rid of her. Croak turns out to be an orange villager, so we did get rid of him, and Velma was too pink, so we did get rid of her as well, but they will always be remembered on the island in this little memorial, because a lot of people got attached to them during this challenge, and I felt really bad for kicking them out because some of you really wanted me to keep them, but unfortunately they just weren't red enough, so I did kick them out. And then let's go ahead and head over to the other beaches. I will say this island does have a little bit of lag, so if you want to not have things popping into frame, I would recommend just walking around. If you do run, you'll probably get a little bit more lag, so it's better just to walk, and you can kind of feel it when you're walking, but you don't get all the items like popping into screen weird. So, okay. Down by Resident Services, we have the Mushroom Beach. So we have a little plank path to follow, and there's just a bunch of the mushroom items because I really wanted to use the mushroom items on the island, but I only used them a couple times in filler areas. And then also down here we have a cute little picnic as well. And then this continues on all the way over here until we get to this rock, which just has a couple more kids tents. And then by the campsite, we have a little boat situation. And then this leads to the lifeguard area. So if you're swimming, maybe swim only in this area because this is the only lifeguard. And then, like I said, the peninsula is back here. So I have this little trail for you to come back here. And this beach is pretty simple, but we have the peninsula, which is just a little sitting area. And you can take a little sit. I'll take a little sit right next to the lighthouse, which is really cute. And then this back beach is very tiny. It's like 2 tiles. And then on this rock, we just did a little painting area with a couple paintings that have red on them. So I thought that was really cute. And I'm pretty sure that's the entire island. You can get over here in front of the museum if you want to and get a little closer look at the museum build. It's not anything astounding to look at down here, but it's just kind of fun that you can sneak in through here. So if you find yourself over here, you can get through there. But that is really the entire island, and I had so much fun in this 30-day challenge. Before we leave, I recorded a little montage with some of the channel members just to remember this island and say a proper goodbye to it. So let's roll that footage right now. But friends, that is officially the last video of our 30-day island challenge. This was a little bit of a bonus day 31, but thank you so much for your support on this island. I had so much fun, and I will see all of you in the next island, which I'm so excited for. It's going to be a summer camp island with a twist. So stay tuned for that. I will see you for either the restarting video for that island or for a like mood board and planning video. I don't know which one we're gonna do yet, but I'll see all of you in that video. So with that, goodbye friends!